Hey friends, it's Tracy. Welcome to today's video. I am so excited to share my version of the primitive country rag tree. Now, I know I have seen a lot of these on YouTube as well as Pinterest and then the crafting group, but I wanted to share my version with you. So that's what I'm doing in this video. Thanks for being here. Welcome back if you are returning, and welcome to my channel if you are new. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Let me share how I created this primitive country rag tree. Okay, what I started with is this tinsel tree from the Dollar Tree. Now it had like that green tinsel on it, so I just took my scissors, snipped it on one side, and then unraveled it so that I could get all of the green tinsel off. And once that's all pulled off, then I'm left with this form. It's a plastic form, so I don't want to bend it too much because it may either bend or break, but that's what I'm left with. Now there's quite a bit of space in between, like the bottom row into the second row and then to the top row. And so what I decided to kind of close that up a bit and to give me something else that I can attach my fabric on, I have this green wire. It's very pliable. I've had this in my stash. I think I got this at Craft Outlet. But I've seen something similar to this at Dollar Tree. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend it around and just, attach it so that it gives me an extra like wire to put on my fabric. These are the two fabrics that I'm using, this homespun fabric, and then I had some muslin fabric. I probably got this at Hobby Lobby or something like that. Anyway, I just ripped just sections of these, and then I cut them down to like maybe 9 or 10 inches. I just used my pinking shears. Well, those are what I'm going to use to cut off the excess of the ribbon once I put it on my tree like this. Anyway, so what I did is I just tied little knots on there. And at first, what I did is I wrapped just a piece of the homespun fabric around the bottom ring. And honestly, once I got the fabric on there, my little fabric bows, you didn't even really see it, but it just made me feel better by having that on there. And so now let me show you how I put my ribbon on. And what I'm showing you here is I had put that wire on there, and that's what I tied my ribbon tails. I don't even know what they're called, but you can kind of see I'm showing you here with an extra one that I had. I had put an extra piece of wire on there in the middle in between those sections because it was just too big, and I just wanted my ribbons to lay on there like that. And so this is how I put my ribbons on the wire. I wanted my ribbons to lay nicely. And so I put like 4 or 5 ribbon knots on this tree, on this rag tree. Anyway, so let me share what I did is I folded it in half just like this. And so then what I did is I just, it's together, and I just bended it over the wire, and kind of, you can kind of see underneath there. So like all the fabric is, bent over the wire, and then I find where the hole is, and then I put both of those ribbon tails or the fabric tails through it, and then I pull it taut so that it makes a small knot like this. And the wider your fabric, the bigger the knot's going to be. As you can kind of see with that muslin there on the left of that, it was a little bit wider. And so that just goes to show I don't care if my stuff is a little wider. That's just how I do things. Anyway, so here I'm showing you here, my muslin fabric seems to be a little bit wider, probably about 1/2 inch. So I folded it in half just like that. I went just over that little piece right there, pulled it, and then I took both pieces of the fabric through the opening of the fabric, just pulled it just like that, and then I just pulled a little knot like that. And that's what I did all the way around until I got as many of these on there. And probably I put between 4 and 5 Probably, on the larger part of the tree, I put probably 5. And then when I got to, to the top of the tree, I got a little less. And so then this is where I use my pinking shears just to trim off everything so that everything looks even. So let me share what I did where the bars cross. And what I did is I took the next ribbon and I folded it over that bar where it kind of, catty cornered it. And then I did the same thing. The knot was just a tad bigger, but I was okay. By the time I got all of my fabric on my tree, you really couldn't tell, but it made me feel better by covering up that section where the bars meet. And then I just continued with my next piece of fabric until I got all the way around. Then I'm going to work on the next section, and because there's so much space in between those the plastic bars, I needed to put another piece of wire. Again, I got this wire from Craft Outlet, but I've seen something similar at Dollar Tree, or maybe we can find it at other places. Anyway, so I just wrapped it around the tree and just made it taunt, or made it where it would not slide down. There are some small notches or some small grooves in this plastic tree. I guess that's how they kept the tinsel on there, so it worked great for my wire. So I put another small piece of wire there at the top so that I could put on my fabric strips, and that just turned out really good. I like the fullness of this tree. So then now I'm left with this little section right here. So what I did, there were like 4 different parts of the plastic form. So I just did the same thing. I just, put a fabric piece on there, and it gave me the fullness. So then I was left with just a tiny bit there at the top. So I just took a piece of that muslin fabric that I had left, and what I'm going to do is just kind of twist it on itself. I'm going to hot glue it so that it stays down, and then I just kind of wrap that around the top of the tree. And actually this worked out perfect because my tree topper is one that I got from Hobby Lobby. Now the packaging may be just a little different. They seem to have different, they call it something different, but it's in the mini ornament or the mini tree section there at Hobby Lobby, and I've seen them for several years, but it's perfect for my little primitive country crafts that I love to do with you all. All right, I have some of these rusty jingle bells. Now, I rusted my own jingle bells using the method that my sweet friend Linda from FaithChick777 shared on her channel. I will have a link in the description box below if you would like to find out how to rust metals. I just used her technique and it worked out perfect. Anyway, so I just took some of these jingle bells and also some jute string and just threaded the jingle bell on the jute string, and then now I'm just kind of attaching it to the frame, and then I tied it into a bow, and I really think that it just adds a more country, more rustic feel to this primitive country rag tree.